What if there was a place where there are no taxes, no corruption, and everything is free? Where people don't worry about food, housing, or healthcare? No, it's not Dubai, not Qatar, and definitely not fiction. A place where corruption is unthinkable and every citizen is accountable, down to the last coin. Sounds impossible? That's what they want you to think. It's not a country. You won't find it on a map, but it exists. Hidden behind headlines, twisted in controversy. And yet, millions live in it, peacefully. So what kind of leader builds something like this? Why is he loved by many and hated by those in power? This might just be the best kind of citizenship in the world, and it's not what you think. This isn't your typical community. It has its own systems, its own leadership, its own rules, its own economy. It's structured, it's orderly, and somehow, it just works. There's no chaos, no begging, no crime. Just purpose. It's practically a nation within a nation. But unlike any nation you know, this one operates on something almost extinct today: absolute integrity. But you can't just walk in and live here. You have to be trained, tested, transformed. This kind of citizenship is not inherited. It's earned through discipline, transformation, and commitment. You pass spiritual requirements. You're trained. You're tested. People here don't just show up. They commit. They live without vices, greed, or self-interest. They work, not for money, but for the mission. Some say it feels like military life. Others say it feels like heaven on earth. And then there are those who call it something else. A cult? A following? A brainwashed army? That's what outsiders say, because they've never seen anything like it. But what if the real reason this place is misunderstood is because it works? The one thing is clear: this is not normal. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. They say, everything is free here. Education? Free. Healthcare? Free. Housing? Free. Food? Free. Travels and miscellaneous? Free. Even weddings and funerals? Yes. Free. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But in this community, it works. Why? Because every citizen works not for themselves, but for the whole. It's a commonwealth. Like being a stockholder in a spiritual economy where everyone gets what they need and no one gets more than what they deserve.
Hindi luxurious sa akin yun. Yun ay decente and excellent living. Para sa mga those who have labored in the vineyard of the Father.
And here's the twist. Outsiders often misunderstand it. When they see the kingdom giving freely, relief goods, scholarships, even land, they think, what's the catch? But the equation here is different. They give and give, not to be praised, but because that's how they are blessed. The kingdom operates on a higher law. Blessed to bless others.
Give, and it shall be given back. The cycle of prosperity and abundance keeps coming. because of that.
You don't provide for yourself when you're a soldier. The government does. Others fear giving because they might have nothing left. Here, they give because they know blessings follow. Sounds like Qatar? Maybe. Sounds like Dubai's golden visa citizenship? Possibly. But this is happening in the Philippines. And not just for the rich, but for anyone willing to live a life of discipline, integrity, and purpose. Let's talk about governance. In the secular world, people run for office to gain. In the kingdom, people are assigned to serve, and there's no room for corruption. The leader, Pastor Apollo C. Quibeloy, is often accused of living in luxury. But here's what they don't tell you. Everything he owns is used for the mission. Private jets and helicopters, used for global massive evangelization, and to transport relief goods, especially to remote areas. Massive compounds, home to thousands of volunteers in the Philippines and in different countries around the world. You only take what's designated for you, nothing more. In the kingdom, misusing even a single peso is not just a sin. It's a betrayal of sacred trust and collective responsibility. In a world where corruption is culture, this nation chooses to be the exception. Here, every coin is accounted for, because in the kingdom, accountability isn't optional. It's a covenant. And yes, this very teaching has drawn criticism. People accuse Pastor Quibeloy of using the tithes for personal gain. But the truth is clear. Everything in the kingdom is accounted for. The facilities, infrastructures, the aircraft, the missions, all are dedicated to service. The kingdom doesn't hide where the money goes. You can see it in feeding centers, in free schools, in disaster relief, in global mission. Nothing is hidden. Nothing is wasted. In fact, the principle of tithing isn't unique to the kingdom. Even the nation of Israel, blessed and prosperous, honors this principle. Israelis are known tithe givers. The Bible is clear. Those who honor God with their substance, He will bless beyond measure. As it is written in Malachi 3:10, "Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven, and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it." And in Proverbs 3:9-10, "Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine." So, why is the kingdom blessed? Because they obey. And when you obey the laws of God, including financial laws, the blessings are not optional. They are inevitable. And maybe, just maybe, that's why many are against him. Because when someone boldly speaks against corruption, it threatens the corrupt. When someone leads by example and demands that the government serve its people, not oppress them, the system fights back. The Philippine government has politicized his identity. They've even jailed him, a spiritual leader, simply for standing against a system that fears change. But inside the kingdom, the people stand by him because they know why he's being attacked. He's been called many things: preacher, leader, philanthropist, occult. But for millions who believe in him around the world, Pastor Apollo is simply God's appointed son. His followers don't just admire him, they've built a nation with him. A nation of 7 million members across 200 countries and territories and in over 2,000 cities worldwide. He started from nothing, literally eating bananas every day. Now, he feeds over 10,000 full-time missionaries daily in the Philippines alone. He spent over billions just for poor children around the world, and he's still working non-stop.
When you help the poor, you are lending to the Father, and it will be the Father who will give and pay you back.
Now, let's break down the programs. Free education. Over 60,000 scholars since 2003, from preschool to master's degree. This began with a donated land for Jose T. Kibuloy Senior National High School in far-flung Tamayong. Today, Jose Maria College Foundation Incorporated offers world-class education, including the ACQ College of Ministries, and soon, the Jose Maria Kibuloy Global Resort University. It empowers thousands of poor and deserving students annually, producing lawyers, doctors, and leaders who now serve in the Philippines and abroad. Children's Joy Foundation. Orphans, street kids, and abused children across continents, all cared for, fed, housed. Education Without Borders. From the Philippines to the USA's Appalachian Mountains, even mobile libraries are sent to bring hope through literacy. Indigenous Advocacy, UNIFIL, brings water systems, roads, solar power, reading centers, and legal protection to indigenous communities. Pastor Apollo, as a United Nations Intergovernmental Organization, or UNIGO ambassador, received titles like Datu Pamalingan, and Datu Tudlabun in honor of his deep respect and service. Prison ministry, assistance to persons deprived of liberty and their families, helping inmates reintegrate with dignity. Disaster relief, SMNI Foundation. Among the first responders in typhoons, fires, and earthquakes, delivering hundreds of thousands of sacks of rice, potable water, medicine, and more. For the youth, various programs are continuously developed to guide young individuals and protect them from drugs, violence, vices, terrorism, and early pregnancy. These programs also foster leadership activities that promote patriotism and nation building. Environmental Mission, SPM. Since 2005, planted over 3.46 million trees, targeting 1 billion. Their work supplies oxygen for over 1.4 billion people daily. Their Kalinisan campaign collects tons of garbage nationwide, promoting a cleaner, safer environment. Everyone dreams of comfort, success, wealth. But in the kingdom, there's a different dream. One where dignity matters more than money, where prosperity is shared, not hoarded, where peace is more than a word. It's a way of life. While the average Filipino family earns just 25,000 pesos per month and spends over 100,000 pesos to survive, Kingdom citizens worry about none of that. What they found isn't just religion. It's redemption. It's order. It's a nation built on peace. So, is this the best kind of citizenship in the world? You decide. A community with no crime, no drugs, no hunger, no corruption, where 7 million people work, not for profit, but for purpose. They call themselves Kingdom citizens, and they're living the dream, not someday, but right now.